It was a crisp autumn evening in 1951, when Skegness, a seaside town on England's eastern coast, became the stage for an incident so surreal, so macabre, that it etched itself permanently into the annals of the bizarre. This quaint town, known for its bracing air and cheerful holidaymakers, was about to host an event that would dissolve the boundary between spectacle and tragedy, ambition and recklessness. The Reverend Harold Davidson, better known as the prostitute's padre, was a man whose life could easily have been mistaken for fiction. A former rector from Norfolk, Davidson had devoted his ministry to saving London's working girls from the grips of destitution and vice. His mission earned him both admiration and controversy, and in 1932, he was defrocked under accusations of misconduct. Stripped of his clerical title but not his zeal, Davidson embarked on a second career as a showman, performing increasingly eccentric stunts to sustain himself while keeping his name in the public eye. But it was his final act, a publicity stunt involving a lion, that sealed his fate and transformed him into a cautionary tale. Skegness in the early 1950s was a carnival of seaside attractions. Stalls of cotton candy and penny arcades lined the promenade, while laughter and music floated in the salty air. Among these amusements, Davidson had set up a peculiar act. He rented a cage, a lion, and a crowd, seeking to prove his courage and charisma one last time. The lion, a seemingly docile beast named Freddie, was a feature borrowed from a traveling menagerie. Its keeper assured Davidson and the eager spectators that the animal had been tamed by years of captivity. But beneath the lion's placid demeanor lay centuries of instinct, a primal force waiting for the right moment to emerge. To understand the events of that evening, one must first grasp the precarious nature of taming wild animals. Lions, despite generations of captivity, retain their predatory instincts. Freddie had been subjected to a life far removed from his natural habitat, confined to a small enclosure and paraded before curious crowds. Such a life could dull the senses, but not extinguish the fire within. The artificial lights, the cacophony of human voices, and the smell of unfamiliar foods were as alien to Freddie as the vast savannas of Africa were to the spectators. Davidson, for all his eccentricity, was not an animal trainer. His interaction with Freddie lacked the respect and caution such creatures demand. On that fateful day, the cage was set up in a corner of the promenade, surrounded by curious onlookers. Davidson, dressed in his clerical collar, a symbol of his defiant claim to spiritual authority, stepped into the cage. He waved to the crowd, his demeanor confident, but tinged with the manic energy of a man chasing relevance. The performance began innocuously enough. Davidson spoke to the crowd, his voice a blend of sermon and showmanship. Freddie, at first, seemed uninterested, pacing lazily within the confines of the cage. But then, something shifted. Perhaps it was the flash of a camera, the high-pitched squeal of a child, or even Davidson's own movement, an arm extended too quickly, a voice raised too loud. Freddie froze, his golden eyes locking onto Davidson. The crowd fell silent, the tension thick and suffocating. Davidson, oblivious to the change in the lion's demeanor, continued his act. He reached out, perhaps to pat Freddie on the head or to gesture dramatically. The lion's response was immediate and terrifying. With a speed that belied his size, Freddie lunged. His massive paws struck Davidson, knocking him to the ground. The cage shook as the lion roared, a sound that silenced even the most hardened showman in the audience. Panic erupted among the spectators. Children screamed, parents shielded their eyes, and men rushed forward, their bravery faltering against the bars of the cage. Inside, Davidson struggled against the weight of the beast. His cries for help were muffled by Freddy's snarls. The lion, now fully awakened to its nature, acted not out of malice, but instinct. The struggle ended as abruptly as it began, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. The crowd dispersed in horror, their laughter replaced by whispers and prayers. Freddy was subdued by his keeper, who approached the cage with a mixture of fear and resignation. The lion, now calm, returned to his corner, licking his paws as though nothing had happened. Davidson's body was carried away, his life extinguished by the very spectacle he had sought to create. In the days that followed, newspapers across Britain splashed the story across their front pages. The prostitute's padre had become a martyr to his own hubris. Some saw the incident as divine retribution, a final judgment on a man who had defied the church and courted scandal. Others mourned him as a tragic figure, a man whose passion for redemption had led him down a path of self-destruction. The tale of Harold Davidson and Freddy the Lion serves as a chilling reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild. It offers valuable lessons for those who would seek to interact with predators, whether in their natural habitat or in captivity. Wild animals, even those born in captivity, are not pets. They deserve respect and space, free from the expectations of human behavior. Predators like lions are guided by instincts honed over millennia. Sudden movements, loud noises, or unfamiliar environments can provoke unpredictable reactions. Public interactions with wild animals should be conducted by trained professionals under strict safety protocols. The absence of such precautions in Davidson's case was a fatal oversight. Using wild animals for entertainment often leads to stress and mistreatment. Such practices can provoke dangerous behaviors and should be approached with caution, if not avoided altogether. The story of the prostitute's padre and Freddy the Lion remains a haunting tale. A collision of human ambition and nature's indomitable force. Skegness, with its cheerful seaside attractions, bears the memory of that dark day as a testament to the perils of hubris. Davidson's life and death, marked by his passion, controversy, and ultimate recklessness, served as a somber reminder of the price paid when we forget the power of the wild. As the sun sets over the North Sea and the waves lap gently against the shore, one can almost hear the echoes of that fateful day. The roar of the lion, the gasps of the crowd, and the silence that followed. It is a silence that speaks volumes, urging us to remember, to respect, and to tread carefully in the presence of nature's untamed majesty. The tragedy of Harold Davidson is not merely a tale of one man's folly, but an allegory for humanity's fraught relationship with nature. Davidson, once a beacon of compassion for society's most vulnerable, found himself dwarfed by forces he could neither control nor fully comprehend. His decision to step into the lion's den was a symbolic act, a desperate bid for relevance in a world that had moved on from his mission. Yet, it was also a profound misjudgment of nature's power. As we ponder the events of that day, we are left with a lingering question. How can we balance our desire to connect with the natural world with the need to respect its boundaries? The answer lies in understanding that nature is not ours to tame or exploit, but to coexist with. Only through this understanding can we hope to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past and honor the intricate web of life that sustains us all. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for the latest videos on wildlife safety, survival tips, and fascinating animal stories. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.